Welcome everyone to the 226th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. It's like June 30th? Day before Canada Day. You should be all excited.
The world's on fire.
How about yours?
I hate it.
It's also 3 days before my birthday, so I will be excited.
Woo!
Happy 3 days birthday.
Fluffy Zai is going to be 1,000,007, I believe.
That's right. You remember?
Eldritch God over here.
An Eldritch Fluff
I
God.
preceded the existence of all society. I made this planet.
Oh, snap.
It's gonna be E.T. drawing. I'm just imagining like a big fluffy planet with my face in the middle.
It's so fuzzy. So as you can hear, we got the ever lovely Alikala.
Hello.
The soon-to-be one rotation around the Earth older Fluffy Zai.
Hello.
There is the ever sleepy Pixie Nop.
Hey, what up?
And a zombie.
Brains.
What's on board?
A wonderful zombie overlord who we love.
You only say that because I might eat your brains.
No, maybe. No.
Alright, let's kick this off. We got 4 submissions this week. As always, if you got any art you'd like to submit, any questions you'd like to ask, any commissions you'd like to give to Alikla, please fire them to us now.
Any arts you'd like to fight?
Yeah. Any
Yeah,
arts?
art fight.
When is that? Starts like 2 days from now.
That starts on Canada Day, so
Nice.
1st of July.
So tomorrow. Got it.
Yes.
It looks like it's a lot of fun.
It is. I recommend everyone try it, because it's honestly like... It's you don't have to be good, you don't have to be bad, you don't have to be... It's whatever. You're all throwing cake at each other, and who doesn't want to eat cake right now?
This is my first time trying art fight.
I want to keep away from cake.
Nervous-sided.
Been on a bit of a diet. You know, an entire cake would be a little fattening.
I gotta
Oh,
indulge
but
sometimes.
sweet brains aren't.
Yeah,
Well-
they're like full of fat.
I usually go for the older brains. You know, the ones that have, you know,
More
older-
salty.
Yeah.
The dried prune of the zombie world.
There you go.
Gamer brains, they're all salty.
Oh my god.
Anyway, which one are we starting with?
We're going to start off with the one on the top left-hand corner. Surprise, surprise.
Ooh.
This
Well,
one,
sometimes there's like a one that's like, oh, they're here, so we'll start with this one.
this is true. This one has been submitted by Weetabix Griffin. Sounds delicious. Also
Good
full
breakfast.
of fiber. Made a drawing of my most recent OC. Thoughts? And they provided a Ponytown reference of their character and a reference of how the pony was supposed to be sitting. Looks like it's Murky number 7, I believe. Such a sad horse. So, let's go into this.
Horse. He's a cutie horse. You sit.
The terminal cutie mark.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Silicon watch bands. They do not agree with tablet screens.
Oh no.
That's what I'm blaming. Totally not the fact that I don't, you know, digital. So it looks like they've, if we go off the reference they've used as theirs, that artist tends to elongate the body but make it actually quite skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So head to body width ratio is still about 3/4. The body is about 3/4 as wide as the head. So, whoop, you know, something like that as far as circles go for 3/4 of the head. But it's like 3 lengths of the head long. I still use heads as references for everything. deal with it.
How dare you reference anything ever? Ever. It's banned. It's banned from art. No references allowed. I'm joking. Please don't take me seriously. References are life. References are wonderful. All
I just
references-
deleted all my references because of you. What have you done?
Oh no. It's gone too far. I shouldn't have this power.
Tried so hard. Got so far.
I don't know if it's me, but something I might
You okay?
I don't know if it's me, but it's something I'd suggest in. Oh, am I roboting?
Nope.
No?
Am I?
I can hear you fine.
Well, I think she might have gone for a nap.
Miss Ali Claw.
And now I'm resurrected.
Oh,
My Discord is in flashing red, so it's not great.
we could hear you fine there.
Oh. You
We
guys
still
are
can.
roboting out for me, I guess, then.
Beep
No.
bloop.
Blur.
I have been a robot once.
No, don't.
Anyway, you were saying, Alex?
Hopefully I can be heard right now, but all I'm gonna
Yes.
say is, so for your image itself, I would try to boost the contrast a bit, so we can see it a bit better, because everything's very much washed out by the scan or picture. I'm not sure how this was taken, but just so we can see all the lines a bit better, I would recommend just boosting up that contrast, because sometimes the pictures get washed out, and we can't see everything. So I don't know if you've done any undersketching, or it's nice to see the undersketching.
So, I'm just gonna draw a face over here. There's a lovely little poem being sketched in. I'm just gonna look at the face so you can have sort of an idea. Ooh, that's
That was weird. Eggy just kicked me out and then assigned me a new layer.
what? That is bizarro. Oh no, my head is too close to this pony wing.
That's illegal being this close to my drawing.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm looking at the original artist's picture, and they've basically removed the far leg from the socket and pulled it forward to accent the fact that it's stretched out forward, which has created quite a few issues. So I'm actually gonna... I can't undo those because I don't have access to those layers anymore. Oh, good job, Aggie.
Oops.
Thank you, Aggie. You inspire us all.
Can I just, nuke that layer? Nope. Owned by user. Okay. So then we're going to change this color here. It looks like you're going for, a 3/4 view. You're trying to sort of have them more prominently placed on their bottom rather than back on their hind legs a bit. So let's go with that. Legs, as we've drawn out here in red, they still apply. They're essentially cylinders that taper out towards the end. You've done them pretty well. I would just make sure you watch their length. Their length is generally going to be slightly longer than a head circle, especially when you've elongated the body. You want to try and keep these similar with the back legs. So your front legs were nearly twice the length of your back legs previously. I would just go ahead and grab your fingers, grab your pencil, whatever you have in hand, and measure and compare. So what I like to do is I like to take the tip of my pen, place it up at the top point where you can see my mouse moving around right now. Then I'll take my thumb and measure down to wherever that bottom part is, and I'll use that as a quick measurement tool. Because, hey, it's going to stay the same length unless if I break my pencil.
So you can see from what I'm outlining here, I'm not drawing a funky pair of glasses. The eye that should be closest to us is further away. Something to keep in mind is the three-dimensional shape of the head, which sounds very scary, but it's really not once you sort of get some practice with it. So what I was sort of doing on the right there very terribly was experimenting with drawing the face and head using sort of this 3D appearance. I seem to be very terrible at doing snouts today, so ignore that. But so the eyes you got to sort of, you can see where the green circle that was drawn before is, and I've put this middle line here. So that tells us where the center of the face is. And so then we're going to draw the eyes around using that as a guide. So we have the shape, we have the overall area and shape of the head, and the general positioning of the face in that center line. So this other eye here, and we've got the cheek coming out. So you sort of have like this cheek touch behind the big old snout style. So that's absolutely fine. I am struggling with the head shapes, but I hope it gives you sort of an idea of how the anatomy should be sort of transpiring. So now we can see, if I pick a different color, that the eyes are actually in alignment with the sort of three-dimensional turning of the head. Oh, and just as another note, when doing sort of third quarter like this, maybe you were trying to do straight on, I don't know, but they seem to be sort of positioned at a third quarter or side view sort of position. If doing third quarter eyes like this and trying to sort of get that 3D in, this the top and bottom of the eyes will always be more or less similar. I'm just trying to sort of predict where that bottom, that there. But it's, if you were to imagine the eye continuing, so the eyes will be more or less similar in height, but the width, so I drew the wrong one. Okay, the height will be the same, which is what that top line was showing, but the width here will be different. I'm not just drawing funky eyebrows now. The eye that's like closest to us will be the one that's bigger, and the one that's further away will be a little bit shorter. But the height will always be the same. Unless you have some crazy like fish angle lens stuff going on. But that's a whole other thing.
So
I
just
just added on a little bit of some shoulders up here, because there can be
Yeah.
useful to show how the
I
legs
find
connect
it's
to the body.
helpful.
Yeah. What I find really useful when I'm trying to break down someone else's work is doing these basic shapes like this eye has done. So, leg, and then trying to sort of draw the 3D form on top, or a little bit more of it. So, draw the contour lines of the cylinder, maybe like a line for the side, a line for the front. Or like, if I'm doing something similar for the thigh here, drawing sort of here's the thigh shape, sort of balances out like this a little bit. Sort of take lessons that I've learned by drawing by drawing spheres in mind, and sort of apply the same kind of a shape to this whole thigh area. Doing stuff like that, because doing that allows me to see how this area of the thigh smushes against this area of the leg and all that sort of stuff.
What I'm drawing out here on the bottom is an arm, but oh wait, there's a super long finger. They are super long fingers. Oh, what if I draw on here? It's actually a wing. This is what a bat wing looks like. It's a hand, little fingies, there's a little claw there. That'd be the thumb, and then these be the fingies. And so then the skin goes between those. It's like a cape, if you're like an actual bat, but yeah. Our ponies, I think, have it sort of come closer to the joint of the arm, and that's fine. I don't know if the stream can even see this far down from what I'm drawing.
I can see the bottom of it. Or the top.
So when doing your wings, always imagine like little mini arms, and then the strands between the wings are fingers, essentially. I'm not sure if what we were seeing in the original. It's buried under our different colored lines now. I'm not sure if what we were seeing originally was actually like a bat wing, or whether it was like a artificial, like a sort of Wright Brothers plane wing sort of looking thing that they'd attached to themselves. I can't quite tell. So if this wasn't like meant to be a bat wing, then my apologies. But I hope this helps in some future. Maybe when October rolls around, you want to make a bat pony.
All right. Next picture.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Ah, Allie's voice.
Ellie's back.
What?
She's back from outer space.
Was she gone?
Well, yeah.
Forever. I left. I got banned for banning references.
Yep.
How
Oh,
could
shadow
you?
banned. Shadow banned. That's what
You
it
should
was.
know better than
I
that.
we trusted you.
So the next one is by Dreaming of Pony. I'm not going to go ahead and read this all because we'll be here for like 8 minutes as I try and struggle through English.
But I should say it's good to self-reflect like that. So
Yeah.
Totes. I did tell everyone that they need to read it beforehand before hopping into the stream, including our visitors. No, just our critiquers. But you show a whole lot of pictures, a whole lot of nice things for us to look at, to see your progression. Your progression is looking great. Basically, the gist of what we're discussing beforehand, because, surprise, surprise, we might occasionally actually talk about art outside of the stream. But anyway, what we're talking about beforehand with your lovely series of pictures here is we love the progression you're doing. We love what you're doing. What we think you should do, and you've even hit on it, is push further. It's might be time to break free of those wonderful show references. Start looking into artists that you like their styles of. And it doesn't even have to be Pony. Like, just find people you want to try and emulate elements of and start bringing that together into your own style. You're going to take, a bit of Van Gogh over here, a bit of Hussey over here, a bit of Aliclaw over here. Maybe Fluffy. You're just going to fluff the living crud out of everything and anything. Like it's some type of mold creeping across the pony. And it'll be great. It'll be fluffy and lovable and huggable.
Mm.
be wonderful. But yeah, just art takes time. Art is not something that moves very quickly for most. Sure, there's some people just have they find their way of learning and it works for them and it makes them feel like art should be faster, but really everyone takes it on their own pace. You just take it on your own time, and one of the biggest things you can learn in art is to be patient with yourself.
Mhm.
The more you're patient with yourself, the more opportunities you'll actually have to learn, because it'll be less just like fighting the why am I not good enough fast enough thing. Because like at the end of the day, what is good? Like, why do you want to draw? What do you want to draw? What quantifies as being quote unquote good? There's a lot more we can get into there, but seriously, just keep it up, keep drawing. Like Samsam said, go out there, soak up other artists. It doesn't even have to be Pony. We all love Pony, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but like anything that makes your heart do a happy dance or just brings you a smile or like whoa, that's cool, or anything that you're like, yeah, that, feel free to
Yes.
learn from it. Soak
In
it
the
up.
language of anime, if it makes your heart go doki doki, it's good.
I I've loved reading through this this post you made. There's so much that I appreciate in your sort of process of learning and going through pictures to pictures, and even some of the stuff we talk about sometimes. Like what was it? There was like what was it? One of the things you were like you were pointing out something that we often give as advice in this. I can't see which one it is now, but so I've lost it.
Oh no.
But you talk about like how much you like drawing certain things and like experimenting with here and there, and it's really nice to see. And you talk about sort of wanting to sort of branch out from the show style and using direct references and everything. I definitely think that's a good idea. Like these guys have said. I think references are always useful. I use show style references, but it's not directly copying those poses. You get to a point where references are more for referencing the small pieces within a reference image than the entire thing. So like, oh, here's a picture of this pony standing. or whatever. But I've only really got it because I want to like look at this expression that they're wearing, or I want to look at the mane in this particular angle or something. So like sometimes references can be useful just to take bits and pieces of like a pose, or just to see how like a leg attaches because it's similar to a pose you're drawing, even if it's not the exact same thing. So definitely move away from show style. Look at like artists like Ali said. That is my trick for becoming good at art. That is all of my progress has been consuming the the work of other artists. It's wonderful. Studying like actual life stuff is good too, but uh, cartoon stuff and other artists' works that have already studied those things you can learn from as well, because they've already sort of done that like translation from actual photos to stylized work. But it's always good to see the sort of source of where it comes from, and just all these different things will help to get that perspective and get that understanding of like how did MLP get to the style that it has, what is it doing. And once you sort of break that down, it can really help to fund your own perspective on how to create those shapes as well. But yeah, from a more like practical standpoint, just to reiterate, just studying other artists' works, just like, oh, I like how this person draws this nose, I'm gonna try drawing it that way for a bit, or I like how this person does the legs in a really unique sort of way, I'm gonna try using elements of that. And after a while, those things just blend together, and you start like transforming them into different ways, and they all sort of blend together, and that's how you develop a style. But it's all good for learning.
I think I'll say one last thing. Something I heard in a podcast, I think it was the Draftsman's podcast, but when finding people to learn from, it's like, yes, learning from that person is great, but learn from the people they learned from, because that's how they got where they are. So it's like,
Hmm.
if you want to get where they are, try to find the same path, like who inspired them, and learn from the people that they were inspired by.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is do both,
Yeah.
because yeah,
Well, no, I'm just
because it's
adding the
yeah, like
quote.
if you can study an artist's stylization of a picture of a horse, and also the picture of a horse that they studied from, and you can figure out how to cartoonize that horse, and then also see how someone else has gone about that same process, and that can give you ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the different. There's so many different sources of learning and experimenting.
What I've done over here is just gone through pretty much my rough process for like drawing a horse. I see the whole head, neck, body as kind of one shape that I like start off with as kind of my base,
Hmm.
and then I have my front hooves, the shoulders, and then like however the front hooves go, and then I have my back hooves, which are just the main thigh shape, and then the big cylinder. That's
Hmm.
kind of how I split it up when I'm drawing, just because it makes the most sense to me. And
Yeah.
when I'm trying to learn, what I'll do is I'll take other artists' pictures, and then I'll just draw this kind of thing, exactly this, on top. And from that, I learn, here's one way that the leg can go, one set of shapes it can be, but it can also be, shoulder here, and then big, just one big cylinder, or something like that. Or it can be,
Mm.
a whole bunch of like different shapes and poses that the hoof can be like placed into. And as I break down other artists' work, see the kind of shortcuts and shapes which they use, I can that's completely. But as I break down their work, I can see the sort of simplifications that they've made, and then use and apply those in my own work. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, as the other people here have said, just keep going, keep learning, and just choose other artists to try to pick stuff up from,
Mm.
because you're kind of at that stage where it's like, yeah,
And you've seen us doing lots of undersketching, and that is very, very important. You can try doing it the way that Pixie's done. I think that's very good for getting that sort of, like the idea of the actual shape, and it doesn't need to be like a super slow process. It can be just sort of fired out to to get an idea of it. But if you don't like doing this method, there are so many other ways of doing undersketching. A lot of people like doing the whole like also like the head is like this circle and then the body is like two heads and blah blah blah, and like mathematically like proportioning everything out. Then like other people like I just do like a circle and for the head, a beam for the body, and just like lines for the legs and one single vertical line for the head. But like, you know, how much or how little under sketching you and construction lines you like doing, or whatever different types of construction lines you like doing, is up to you. So just experiment and see what you find works well.
All right. Shall we move on to our next one?
Let's go.
Oh,
Cuddling horse for horsepowers.
Cuddling
He's a
horses.
fluffy horse.
so this is
Which
by the top right-hand corner, the two of them facing each other.
Yeah.
So this is by Thunderspark 25. These are my OCs. Could I get some feedback on this? Sorry for the bad quality. Lol.
All scanners suck, in my experience.
You can definitely set them to up the contrast quite a bit. It'll make those.
Well, yeah,
lines.
this problem's this looks like pretty high contrast. I get that with my scans, like everything is just exploded by the contrast, and there's only two settings, and it's on the lower one.
I definitely
apparently my
prefer
pencil
setting
is
it
bad.
grayscale. It pulls a lot of that out.
Okay, so I think as we were talking about in the Ali's handling that one.
Hmm?
I assume that's Ali's color, or is that not?
Oh no, I was doodling down the left-hand corner.
I'm so used to
me
you being
again,
like
Ali.
red.
I can't help it. Doodling's fun.
So the thing that I noticed first is that both the ponies are like supposed to be looking at each other, I assume, but they're both looking down. So that's something that you should learn pretty early on, is how to make sure characters are looking in particular directions, and just how to work eyes like that. So under sketching is very important. What we're doing right now is or what I'm doing, I guess, is to show the sort of basic understanding of like where a character is posed. They're not always going to be in like a super straight line. I can see that you've tried to sort of differentiate like the ways the legs are placed, especially in these back legs on the left pony are in two different places. That's great. Ponies aren't just going to always stand at like an exact like all their hooves together in one place. Yeah, so we're gonna try and make these characters look like they're actually looking at each other. So start with a beam body here for this pony. Just trying to work out this. I think I just need to move this head. I think that's the thing, is that they're looking very far down. But yeah, okay. So shoulders and leg. We're gonna get two different styles. The style isn't important. That's just us doing critique, and we're different artists. But
Yeah. Different artists, different approaches.
Yeah.
When you're doing art, there's like always a million ways you can go about it. So
And it's great to see different people's ways of interpreting things, which is why we have this critique, because we all have different viewpoints and stuff.
yeah.
See, that's not very
Sometimes-
good.
Sometimes
Stretch that even
when
more.
we're like approaching a picture, two of us will draw over the same picture and we'll draw everything in different places. And it's just like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
it's really
we
confusing.
really are
to
different
getting
artists. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore this backlight for now, because I absolutely suck at backlights. It looked great in the undersketch, and then as soon as it comes to the actual lining, it's like, nope. Let's see. You can see the way we've done like the circles and whatnot. I'm actually gonna get a thing and just do this. Ooh. Do a bit of this just to make it easier. Which layer am I drawing on? There we go. So you can see that if you make the ponies' heads actually tilt up a bit so that they're looking at each other, then it makes it a lot easier to get them to. And maybe they weren't supposed to be looking directly at each other, but it looks like that's what you were trying to go for. Or maybe like the one on the right is looking at the pony, but the one on the left is like looking down like bashfully. I'm not sure, but you can always just take the ideas that we're giving you here and interpret them in whatever way makes sense for the picture you're trying to accomplish. You don't have to do everything exactly the way that we tell you to.
I've come up with a solution. They're looking at the hypercube.
There we go.
Oh.
Give them some. If you can't change your pony's eyes, which shouldn't be too hard, you can give them something new to look at.
Yeah. The pupils are always the hardest thing to place. It's like there's a reason why when I'm drawing digitally, usually I'll have the pupils on their own layer, and then just like drag them around for a bit.
Yeah, I used to do that a
where
lot.
the
Yeah.
hell-
So one thing I see you doing is you've got these eyes, and you have your own style for eyes that's different from the show. Like that's cool. But like this, what have I drawn here? Have I drawn a side view face, or have I drawn a front view face? You don't know. What does this eye look like to you? Because it's the same shape. So that's something that the show does. They just like this is a pony's eye from who knows? From front view, sure. From side view, sure. It works both ways. They cheat their eyes. But if you're doing it in, actually, I'll leave that there. If you're doing eyes, and you want to have something a little bit more realistic than the show style, the side view will have a different approach to the shape of the eye than what we will see from the front. So like this is the front view eye, and in MLP also the side view eye, whereas this here is the side view. I'm terrible at eyelashes, so ignore those. But you can see like the iris is thinner and like right on the sort of cusp. The pupil will actually be sort of like embedded in a little bit because it's supposed to be, because it's like a lens. But I'm really bad at doing that. doing like the lemon shape, like triangle shape is the trick to doing side view eyes over the oval of front view. Just little tricks like that are what make up art skill. It's just like learning 100 million little different tricks of how to do things, and slowly they just blend together until you just have a style based out of an entire toolbox of little tools. It's not just like one skill that you develop. This pony had to be leaning forward quite a bit, but I hope that makes sense in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely more of a dynamic pose in the left pony. I think something I like to recommend is looking at action lines.
Maybe they could be walking.
And lines of action, where what I'll do whenever I start a pose is the first thing I'll start with is just one line that goes through that describes how the whole pony is moving in general, and then when I'm actually drawing, I'll try to keep everything along that line. So something like boom, and you might have the tail going something like this, and then the mane coming out something like that. But that's just one way to try to make sure that you fit a little bit more dynamic action stuff into your poses. But that's stuff you'll learn as you do life drawing and as you.
I think there's a lot of other stuff we could probably talk about, but I feel like we've given you a lot to think about already. There's probably lots of other points we can make, but I'd love to see. I'm sure we'd all love to see like what progress you can make on this using the sort of ideas that we've presented to you. However you want to interpret them in your own style, like absolutely do some experimenting, do some learning, and come back and show us what you got. And we'd love to see any progress you make.
Keep drawing and show us more stuff. Yeah. Really good job.
Maybe next time we'll tackle mains.
Perhaps.
So bodies and eyes. Yeah.
Alright, shall we move on to our next and final one?
Oh, there's another one.
There is. if you just look on beneath this one, you'll find that there is not Pony Pony.
I actually don't see one, so I'm going to refresh my page. See, I thought I remembered seeing 2, but now I'd only been seeing 3. Sorry, 4. But I'd only been seeing 3 just now, which is why I was confused. I was like, wasn't there 4 pictures? But I was not seeing 4th. Now I
If you go
see it again.
cross-eyed,
It's
there'll
back
be 8.
again. It's back.
So this is by Spoopy Girl, and it is POV your sandbar.
I love the like mechanical. I'm assuming that was part of the original picture.
The drink?
Yeah.
No, that's pasted on top.
It wasn't pasted by us. This was part of the picture that came off the subreddit.
Yeah, that's what I meant was like
yeah,
obviously they didn't draw it like on paper, but it's yeah, I was wondering if like someone in our group had like put it on top as a joke or not.
I just had a quick censor it.
Just seeing art they've done. So this actually seems to roll with their style that they've been doing.
I think my question for them, what particular did you want help with? At this point, I'd say asking for general critique. It looks fine. There's always refinement you could do with cleaning things up a bit, but this is the style. This is a style to me that's very concrete, readable. But if you want to learn different things, what would you want to learn? Like, would you want to go more 3D, or do you like this very flat, like, comic strip style? Or, I want to learn more about what you want to learn.
That is very important for us it helps us a lot to determine. I do think, and again, if it's what you prefer to do, then it's absolutely fine. But I feel like the poses and body, especially with smaller, are very sort of static. We can see sort of Silverstream, that's her name, right, coming in from the side, so there's not too much staticness there, but the leg is coming like straight up from the bottom in a straight line. But then Smolder is in this sort of very like blocky, static sort of pose, and it's fine for like the emotion she's exuding very much fits that. But it's just a matter of like whether that's how much of that is choice and how much of it is your ability to draw at this point in time. So I would love to see what you can do with different like dynamic poses and like motion in poses and stuff like that. So that could be very interesting, and it could help you explore some new things.
Yeah, I'm just doing some like rough sketching on top. Because when it's looking for just general critique, I think that it's just generally like looking for, hey, how would you draw this? What kind of things would you do differently?
That's a good point.
One of the main things is, or that I've done over here, is just with the arms, just given a little bit more definition. By which I mean having the shoulder kind of explicitly poke out from the neckline a little bit more, and be kind of like a centering point. When you're drawing like bipedal characters, generally the shoulders and the hips are some really important lines to think about, and having the shoulders there sort of concretely makes it's one piece of the pose puzzle. And as well with this front line of the body, I tend to split it up into like the front half, the torso kind of section, and then kind of like the hips sort of section. And that's just from doing life drawing and breaking down other stuff that other artists have done. I find that that's a pretty good way to break it down, so you can have the top half tilted and the bottom half tilted a different way, or all that sort of stuff.
Man, 3-fingered hands are way easier to draw than regular hands.
I'm trying to think how to draw it because it's something that's photoshopped on top. That way they could just leave the hand open and put it on because, you know,
Right,
it's
that makes sense.
traditionally
Yeah.
inked. Yeah.
Something like this, maybe. I don't know.
Like,
You just
yeah,
have 3 talons, right?
yeah, I believe
Makes
so.
sense for Burb. And you could just have that. Unless the can had been pasted there as a sensor before it has been sent to us.
Maybe. I mean, there other posts are talking about thinking about drawing not safe for work, so who knows?
Ooh, I'm gonna hard no. I believe you've mentioned your age in the server. Please wait to draw till you're of age. That's just PSA, guys. It's okay.
Mhm.
You have plenty of time to draw this stuff. Just keep yourself safe.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun drawing. You know, just drawing stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's actually illegal for someone to purchase art, like to solicit art out of a minor that is not safe for work. That is soliciting a minor. That is against the law.
And even though you are a minor, you can still get charged for the distribution of said stuff. So seriously, you'll have plenty of time to draw that later. Just have fun with ponies. You can make crude humor jokes, like whatever, but just you'll be able to draw plenty. There's so much more life to live after the age of consent in your state, country, or whatever.
Come on, everyone knows when you're 15, it feels like time is so small.
It really does.
I've been on this world for so long. I know everything.
That is exactly how it feels when you're a teenager. It's like, well, what else is there, you know? And then you get to an adult, you get to like 20, and then suddenly you're in like the next chapter of the game, and it's like, oh, that was like 5% of like everything.
And I just do want to add, I don't want you to feel like, oh, we're the adults saying no, don't do it, and therefore you go off and do it. I really mean it as just like, it's not worth it doing it now. There's a lot of scary stuff involved, of course, but I don't want to make it scary for you. It's just, you have plenty of stuff to draw right now. Like, plenty of stuff to draw. Have fun with that.
Also,
didn't
people
know-
are literally the worst. They will take advantage of that.
Yes.
Like, literally the worst.
We just want you to
I
have
don't know
fun
if,
drawing
I
art
don't know
and
if
stay
this
safe.
was an NSFW thing or whether it was just she was making a rude gesture or something. Like, that's what I first thought it was she was just giving her the finger or something. So maybe that's what's happening. I don't know.
I
Or
will
maybe they
say,
just wanted to have her holding a can and just we're trying to figure out the hand. I don't know.
I will say the contrast on this is really, really good. I've knocked it down over here so you can see the line. Good job on making it dark. 'Cause it's really, really readable.
Alright, anyone else have any other art they'd like to throw at our faces? Any other questions they'd like to ask? Or any other, stories of fighting kangaroos armed with spider Molotov cocktails from Pixie?
Here's the real question. One toddler-sized spider or 100 spider-sized toddlers?
Oh my god.
That's
I'll go with the
going in my
first
head.
one.
Like, whose spiders are we
Get
talking?
a hit with a hammer.
His spiders or, like, the rest of the world's?
Here, let's go Australia spiders.
Oh yikes.
Yeah, I'm not giving those any more power.
Yeah, I'll go
You
for
could
the
have,
one
like,
big
100
one.
normal-sized toddlers.
Definitely going for the one big one. At least it's an object I can keep my focus on. The hundred,
Right,
you'll
and
just be
it's not
screwed.
listen, when it's giant, there's not as many places for it to hide in. Like when it's tiny, it's scary because it can just disappear. Like I played enough Skyrim to
God.
see like the disgusting, horrifying giant spiders in that. A toddler-sized spider will be smaller than those things. You can just get a hammer and take care of it. Get your XP.
At least the toddlers try not to be malicious most of the time.
No,
Spiders
but
are just...
but one toddler is bad enough, and a tiny toddler will be even worse, and 100 tiny toddlers would be
100
really-
tiny
Yeah.
toddlers mid tantrum.
Yes,
Oh, oh no.
because there's no way they're not all tantruming at all. Because like one of them will, and then all of the others will be.
I'm sorry for anyone I've confused. This was something that was said like at the start of the stream, and it's just been in my
I
head.
don't even
and I've been
remember
waiting.
that being said.
The good thing about the toddler-sized spider is they'll probably need a boost of oxygen in the atmosphere to support such life, and so less global warming. Yeah. So you need to
Well-
think about tertiary effects.
Always look on the bright side of life there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Alright, well, with that hypothetical question scaring us all and causing nightmares, we're gonna call it a day. So thank you all for showing up, and we'll see you again next week.
Be safe. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Yeah,
Be
even
safe.
on the stream. 'Cause
Even on the stream.
you could catch it through your ear holes.
Come on,
Oh my god.
computer virus.
Well, no, I'm protected because my ear is blocked.
Oh no, computer virus calling me.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.